Alright guys, what's up? So finally sorted this out right this time, so that way now I'm actually looking at the camera instead of looking that way the entire time. So kind of the new update for now is that, so what I've kind of been doing was I've been doing leetcode, as well as kind of trying to brainstorm what to do next. Obviously, the last time I left off, I did the picture sliding through, but like doing small things like that aren't really useful, and I feel like because like obviously I've been kind of trying to watch YouTube videos and get opinions, different things like that. People were saying different things like, "Hey, doing like learning how to do like small little things and constantly saying, hey, I've got this certification. Well, that's great and all, but what have you actually done? Uh, and so we'll delve into that a little bit later. I wanted to go ahead and talk about what about kind of the leak codes, what to so one thing, so I think this one related to that? Oh, no, it's a different one. So what the idea behind this particular leak code, and so one thing that I've definitely noticed so far is a lack of like overall knowledge on C++, although I felt like that's my most confident language. I think it's becoming very apparent very quickly to me starting leetcode that it's like, and like maybe I'll find a solution and I'll kind of piece it together, and all of a sudden I'll look at somebody else's and it's like, you can do this whole thing right here, which the goal of this is to delete repeated numbers out of the array. So like, for example, you've got 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. What that's supposed to output would be 0, 1, 2, so on. And then have obviously the last number. I think I actually did 0 again, but y'all get the point. So it'd go like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of all that fluff. And I noticed like different things. Like I think there was a unique function, and so I'm doing all of this, doing this for loop. This, by the way, was just kind of some debugging code. This actually doesn't have to do with the solution. The only stuff that has to do with the solution would be this and this num sizes. Because it also, another thing that it wanted the numbers in order. Didn't care about any of the excess numbers on the end, but and it wanted to know how many numbers were within that array at the end. So that being said, I had to make sure that I could have a way. So this is just num.size. Obviously, I just did a simple like erase them off of the array entirely and just shrink the array down. The solution that I saw that a lot of people were doing, and this wasn't the most efficient solution. I don't think I ever saw the most efficient solution. People are incredible solutions they can come up with, but the easy and like still pretty efficient memory and efficiency wise, or speed wise I should say, I think it was like 70%, and both of those for the leak code was like 2 lines of code. Like it was like a select unique or get unique numbers from this and then like delete them or something like that. It's like, okay, and I'm doing all of this. Let's see. So also, I know, let's see, let me find it. There it is. So, is it in here? removes duplicates from sorted array. Can't remember if I think I ran the more efficient one just because I was curious to see what it looked like and everything. I could actually probably just look at it from here because I think enough people do it. Yep, there it is. So this is the solution I was talking about, where he's like, oh, just nums.erase and then just do a unique function call and then just go iterate through the array. That's something that I remember, like the begin to end thing, because so I did admin of code and I saw, as I was working through that, I saw that a lot. I still am not the best at incorporating it into my code. Like, for example, I had to look up, like I was trying to think, like, okay, so how am I gonna get this to work? And it's like, oh, I had to end up looking into the vector documentation for C++ and be like, oh, we got the erase thing, and the way that works is you use the begin and then you do it. So that's where that was kind of the train of thought, and that's where this num begins plus I kind of came from and how I erased that way. My solution was significantly inefficient and everything, so I think this was one of the ones that was supposed to be really efficient. I can't remember. Let's see, I'm about to submit it again just to see. Mainly out of curiosity, apparently not. Oh, no, this is one of the ones that was very efficient. Okay. But then, like, for example, you got the other one that was very simple. It still was like 70%, 70%, so very solid overall. Whereas mine was like donkey. See, this is my solution. Mine's like way slower than all these boys. Still about the same amount of memory. So, but that's probably not that hard to do. So, that being said, let's move on from this because I'm probably spending too much time on this, considering this is not one of the main things that I wanted to necessarily talk about in this video. But yeah, so, and this is considered an easy one. And I kind of walked through like a handful of easy ones, like the valid parentheses, palindrome number, and reverse integer. These two were very similar. They actually used the solution from reverse integers and palindrome number, but that's also, I also looked up that solution, so I was like, oh, hey, this is how you solve this. I had gotten a solution that would work for the most part. My only issue is I wasn't sure how to handle this right here, this 32-bit sign, make sure like it's within bounds, return 0 if it's not within that area. I couldn't think of a good way to handle that. I'd see that's my thing. So let's look this up right now real quick out of curiosity, if I can function like a normal human being. I didn't even know this. Yeah, so see, I didn't even know that was a thing. So good to know. But I didn't even know that was a thing. When I first saw this code, and I should have looked it up immediately after I saw it, but I didn't realize what it was doing. I was like, why is it? And it's like, oh. So, yeah. But nonetheless, very interesting. Didn't even realize that's why exactly that was working. But I used the same code from here because I was like, oh, hey, we could stick this into the palindrome and it will work. So that's another solution that we got, and like I said, used the same solution you got from the from the reverse number and put it straight into the palindrome right there, and then just kind of tested it that way. And I said, so if y equals reverse true, else false. And I think that was a decent solution, wasn't it? It wasn't like amazing or anything, but it wasn't bad, right? I mean, see, I guess me saying that, I don't know for sure, but yeah, so 75% memory solution, 72%. So I mean, 70-70 from a solution that outside of I didn't necessarily realize how to do I didn't do the ordering part, I guess, which I guess is a large part of it. I didn't exactly do myself. My solution, I don't know if I have it anymore, but like I was thinking along the same lines. It took, and it's part of the reason why I'm doing this is to get myself in a habit of problem solving and finding solutions. But it took me a while to think of. I was like, how in the heck are you gonna do this? And it was like, oh, you've got the modulus operator. You can do this. Let's see if it'll show my solution. It'll probably be like maybe that one. Yeah, so see, I mean, it's like I'm doing all of this. I'm doing like 40 lines of code to solve something that they solve. So I need to work on that, but we'll get better with that. So that being said, that's leetcode. So that's kind of what I was doing there. I'm probably going to keep kind of trying to do a couple of those at least a week. Again, it's consistency. Just keep doing a couple a week at least. I know it'd probably be better to do more, but better to do some than none, and better to build the habit, because I think building a steady habit's probably more important for me right now more than anything. So that being said, so now I was talking about kind of like what I plan to do project wise. Like, it's pointless to keep doing small projects like this. So back in college, and let's just do can't type. But so what I'm gonna say, and maybe even we do something like this. Maybe we even like, I don't know if I'm gonna do news. News is probably unnecessary. Maybe. So, you know what? In fact, this actually would be a really good baseline. So maybe we try and I'm not gonna do. So I'm not. Oh, my USA disappointment, my ADD coming in here. But back on topic. So I guess that's kind of. This would be a really maybe I guess what I can do is try to implement this screen you're seeing right here and try to create maybe like have matches. I'm trying to think what we could do. So the way the Premier League is set up is they play each other twice. So what I'll do, I'm not going to worry about home, away, anything like that. We may get to that, but we need to build kind of step by step by step rather than like just all of a sudden confusing the hell out of myself. But we'll do something like this, and then let's do we'll do a point system, and this is the main thing that I was thinking of, because back in college we did a assignment where we did a tournament web app, but it was a mess. Didn't really come out the way we wanted to. Was the ugliest thing imaginable. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we're a bunch of computer science people, and maybe even do this as well, or at least like for practicality's sake, we'll assume, because obviously this is for European spot, or if you know soccer, you know this is for the Champions League spots, this is for a Europa League spot, and then down below, yada yada yada, relegation. So maybe like to start with, I implement like a hey, you're the champion thing, and like let this be like green or maybe even like a gold to symbolize like a champion of sorts, and then you have down here is like brown because you're poo-poo on the bottom. But different things like that, and just try to recreate this would probably be a very good idea. And that can like be a way to practice a lot of different things. do some basic database stuff within this, and then also in addition to that, try and kind of maybe get some GUI stuff going. I feel like this would be a good overall project. And also, so another thing that I've been considering lately, and I got to figure out if it's something I could actually do or not. Because I know, so my current company uses Azure, and they use it, so let's see, is there good Azure ADOS Sprint? Because I don't want to show my office's actual ADOS on screen, but yep, there we go. That's a good example. But maybe like I get my own ADOS account if all this is free. I don't know if it is or not. And like I kind of create sprints for myself. And that would be like a very good way of tracking goals, as well as like showing my ability to manage the Azure application for workflow, I guess would be the word I'm looking for. And so that sort of thing. That would probably be a good thing to do as well. Let's see, anything else? I feel like this overall, for the time being, balancing this with work would be a fairly ambitious thing, doing this and doing the tournament web app, or probably make it a web app and then maybe also make it into an application down the line. Like, so let's see, maybe start it as a web app. So start it as a web app, maybe make it into a desktop app as well, maybe. And maybe get it working on like iOS and Android, maybe even at some point like make it a normal web application, but then maybe eventually convert it into something that would work in, say, Flutter, if I could get Flutter to go between devices. Maybe that might not be a bad shot, but nonetheless, we've been taking plenty of time here, because I noticed a little while ago it was, I scared myself so bad. I was like, no, it's been this entire time I wasn't recording. That being said, yeah, 18 minutes. Wow, that's not as long as I thought. But yeah, so 18 minutes. That's plenty. Talking about like different ideas and brain farting amongst myself. So that ought to work. Let's see. Let's set a goal, because it's going to be difficult, because I know I'm about to actually go home this weekend and probably stay the week at home. So, and then the following weekend, that Saturday, I think we're going to do like a work day at our deer camp. And then obviously Sunday I'll be driving home. So maybe look for another Friday night upload, maybe. We'll have to see. But nonetheless, y'all have actually it's Saturday morning. I'm the one guy that's 12:57 in the morning working on a YouTube video to post about goals and project. I'm retarded. Also, so interesting stuff, and I'm gonna be very careful about this, because I don't want to show anything that's could potentially like leave me in the crapper at work, or just in general, as far as y'all being able to see IPs or anything like that. That would be sensitive, because I'm not the most knowledgeable on what I don't need to have y'all see. But just to kind of like talk about things that I've been doing at work that is like very vague, and it's not gonna get me in trouble with work, is I've been kind of had the opportunity to work in MySQL, Postgres, and we're trying to make it so that way we can use those two to also work within our company, and like let a user choose between those databases. Let's see. And so I've had the chance to kind of like start doing that, and also kind of like mess with ports and be like, hey, and so that sort of thing. I mean, that's probably good enough. Like I said, I'm always gonna probably err on the side of caution about what I can and cannot say. So that being said, y'all have a fantastic 1 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and I will see y'all next time. Bye. As I slowly but surely stop recording.